All right, so we just got the first quarter Realtor magazine, Salt Lake Realtor magazine in the mail, and I wanted to show you guys something because I did a video not that long ago on how Salt Lake City just broke the list of, for the first time in history, of the most expensive cities in the nation. Salt Lake City has never broken that list, at least, one of the most expensive cities in the nation, and just last year, 2019, we broke the list at number 25. And the first quarter statistics just came out. You can see right here. In Salt Lake County, the median home price is almost $400,000, $392,000. We got Utah County at $373,000, Davis County at $355,000, Tooele County at $305,000, and then Weber County at $276,000. So, you know, if you're thinking about selling, well, we're at an all-time high here in Salt Lake, so probably a good time to sell. If you're thinking about buying, depending on how you look at it, could be a good time to buy before things get even more expensive. Now that we've broken that top 25 list, it could only go higher. Interest rates are really low, so it still makes your loan affordable on a month-to-month basis. But wanted to kind of just share what the latest numbers were here in the Salt Lake County area as well as those other counties as far as the median price. Because as I had mentioned before, we are now officially in the top 25 list in the nation. First time ever in history we've hit this list of being the most expensive city in the nation, right? We're number 25, but we're on that list. I also shared in that other video, Salt Lake City was voted, definitely New York City, San Francisco, you think of these bigger cities, they're definitely more trendier than Salt Lake City, but San Francisco and New York City are unaffordable. You can't buy there unless you're, you know, making a gigantic income. But as far as the trendiest city in the nation that is still considered affordable, that you can still own a home, be a homeowner, Salt Lake City was number 1. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're number 25 on the most unaffordable list, but we're in last place at the most unaffordable list, which means we're still the most affordable city in the top 25 cities that are trendy, making us the number 1 city to be able to live in and experience a trendy city lifestyle, but have that affordability. So, wanted to share that. We just wrapped up the radio show, had Neil Morris in today as our guest, talking about home inspections, and dove deep into that, so you'll definitely want to check that out. But if you've got any questions in regards to any of this information, please feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to chat with you. Today's going to be a pretty fun day because we've got Neil Morris coming in, who's a home inspector. So if you've ever thought about buying a house and wonder what it's like to get a home inspection, why you get a home inspection, what they do for you, how you're able to use that to negotiate, or if you're a seller and you're wondering, wow, what do buyers do when they get a home inspection, and you want to learn what the home inspector does in your home, you're going to want to listen to today's show. We'll be producing the show a little bit later, but after the radio show, after Neil Morris comes in, we're going to be doing a restaurant review today. Now, it's been a while since we've done a restaurant review. We used to do restaurant reviews every single week, but we got down to coronavirus lockdown. So due to restaurant reviews being postponed, we're excited because today we're going to go do our very first one in quite some time. Now, I'm going by myself. My wife is going to stay home with the kids. We normally do a restaurant review as a family, but we decided that we're still going to leave the kids at home. We're still not going to go out into the public with them just yet, but we're going to go do, I think we're going to go to Ruth's Diner, if I'm not mistaken. Got to just make sure and confirm that they are open for dining and not just takeout, but it'll be fun to go out and do another restaurant review again. And you know, we've recently just started picking up the Field Trip Fridays again. We are trying to keep those activities outdoors though for now, but it should be a really good day. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I am your host, Yoshi Shiraki. Today, we are going to be chatting about home inspections. If you have ever sold or purchased a home, you probably went through this experience. I've had clients in the past ask if it was necessary to have Both sides, sellers asking me, do they have to allow home inspections to happen? I've had buyers ask, do I need to pay for a home inspection if I want to save the money? So we're going to go through what home inspectors do for you when you're a buyer. If you're listening as a seller, if you're thinking about selling your home or you're potentially selling your home, things that you'll know are going to happen during this home inspection. If you're wondering what gets done during a home inspection, what does this inspector look for? What does he go through? Does he go up into the attic and down into the crawl space? Does he go through your closets? Does he go through your drawers? Does he go through private belongings? You're going to find all of that information. We've got Neil Morris who's going to be sharing all of that good insight. Neil Morris is with Win Inspection, so he'll be sharing what he does, what typical home inspectors do when they're doing this type of activity. And as a buyer, this is I've had buyers ask me, do I need to spend the money to get a home inspection? I'd prefer to save the money. And you're not required to get a home inspection if you truly wanted to save the money, but it's probably a good idea to pay the minimal investment to have someone go in there and look at the things that you don't typically look at when you are shopping for a home. You're not going to poke your head up in the attic. You're not going to poke your head down into the crawl space. There's a lot of things that you're not going to be aware of unless maybe you have a solid construction background. So it's a good idea too. But before we dive in that, so I wanted to share some ideas. We've had in the past couple guests guests that have come in that are high performing athletes. We had J.R. Selski, who's a 3-time Olympian. That's a high performing athlete. We had Tyrone Smith last week, who is the receiver for the University of Utah. July 4th, the 4th of July, if you want to start off your morning right and listen to K-Talk Radio, we have Jonathan Garcia, who's also an Olympian, who's going to be our guest. And one of the things that I like diving into is mindset, because if you're thinking about investing in real estate, we're Utah Home Sweet Home is primarily an entrepreneurial real estate show. We talk about business, we talk about real estate, we talk about buying and selling homes, flipping homes, apartment buildings. All our guests are in one way or another business owners, or winners in general with mindset. You could have the best mindset. You could have your goal in mind, but if you don't have a roadmap, or in business, you probably hear the term a business plan. If you don't have a roadmap or a plan to get to your goal, the likelihood of you getting to your goal becomes drastically less. And if you do get to your goal, it typically takes drastically longer. Neil, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Joshi. Glad to be here.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so, I've had clients that have asked me, do I really need to get a home inspection? It's X amount of dollars, and I want to save that money to buy some new light fixtures for the house that we're going to buy, right? And the answer technically is no, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But I always advise them that it's a good idea. And I share with them some resources if they still have doubt or questions, and then they basically can make their own decision, at which point every single one said, yeah, you're right, it is a good idea. So if you don't mind, can you start off by simply discussing why someone should get a home inspection?
Sure. So first off, when you're buying a house, there are unexpected expenses. It's an expensive process, and it is hard to say, I'm going to spend a few $100s more, do a home inspection, possibly do some extra tests on the house. Brent, who works with me, had an experience where somebody had a slab, a basement slab, or not a basement, a slab on grade house, meaning a house that's built on a concrete slab.
Yeah.
And somebody thought it was a good idea to dig a basement underneath it.
Oh.
And so,
no.
so underneath this concrete slab, which isn't reinforced by, it was an old slab, a newer one would be stronger, but even still not intended to have hollow space underneath.
Right.
And somehow the rafters had all broken, and the whole roof had shifted.
Oh my gosh.
To where it was just kind of resting in place, but nothing was tying it on, and it was not in its original position.
Whoa.
And so I will recommend some of these when I think it's necessary, but I won't push them too hard. However, I'm not going to talk you out of doing a test either. So when we're talking about these tests, I'll hit randomly. First off, you mentioned meth. Methamphetamine is a drug that leaves a residue when people cook it or when they use it.
Got it.
So when we do a meth test, we're taking surface samples in the home that go to a lab for analysis to see if there's methamphetamine residue in the house. And so many people are shocked when we find a positive. The test is sensitive and it's going to pick it up even if your teenage kid used or had a friend over who used in the house. It's going to show up. Now fortunately, there is a scale that helps us determine is cleanup necessary or not.
Got it.
And so sometimes you'll find a trace in the house and it doesn't mean the house is unsafe or that cleaning needs to happen. But sometimes we'll find a lot. I was doing a rental unit for an investor not long ago, and I told him we really should do a methamphetamine test here because I know it's going to test positive. Sometimes you've been around enough of these to know when it's going to happen, and he was hesitant, but sure enough, it tested very high.
Got it.
Needed some major cleanup.
Gotcha.
That would have been a lot of expense to him.
Got it.
So methamphetamine, with us, it's going to add $125 to the cost of the inspection.
I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you missed any part of the show, you can also check out our website at utahhomesweethome.com. We've got the social media links at the bottom. You can click on the YouTube. We film these shows so that if you are a visual person, you can definitely check those videos out as well. And I hope everybody has a spectacular rest of the day. And engagement. All right, we just arrived here at Ruth's Diner. As you can see, it's a spectacular day. They shared with us that the wait is 40 minutes if we wanted to eat outside. I've actually never eaten outside. I've been here twice, but like I said, it was like 10 years ago. But it's 5 to 10 minutes if we eat inside. So I said, great, we'll do inside just so we can get in and have some breakfast. But this diner right here is located at the mouth of Immigration Canyon, just past Hogle Zoo a little bit. You can see it's in a super cool setting right here in the mouth of the canyon. And so it's a pretty popular joint and they've got good food, so what else can be better? You decide I should eat as well.
Really?
Yeah.
If I gave you a Benedict,
Okay.
what meat do you like? Did you look at them at all?
Chicken fried steak sounds really good. Okay. But what would you do? Would you do that?
That's what I would do.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah, it does sound
okay.
good. I am going to be diving into this Eggs Benedict that look really amazing. And I gotta switch hands because I'm right-handed. Okay,
First bite impression.
That's really good. All right, so we just had a delicious breakfast here at Ruth's Diner, and I ended up getting the Eggs Benedict over chicken fried steak. I've actually never had that in my life, and it was really good. So it's been a fantastic morning. We started off the morning at K-Talk Radio doing the radio show with Neil Morris from Win Inspection. If you're thinking about buying a house, he shared a lot of great tips on what to look for as far as a home inspector, as far as a buyer. Then we finished off the morning with a fantastic breakfast here doing a restaurant review at Ruth's Diner, and now we're just gonna head home and chill out.